What's going on, guys? Welcome to the latest episode of Can I Kick It? This is, of course, your host, Elliot Barr, and joining me is my good man,
Shania Duran II.
I don't know why I almost tripped out over that. We've been doing this podcast long enough. That just proves to show you that I talk too much.
Well, I mean, this is the second episode we're doing today, so you know.
Yeah, double recording days and triple recording days take a lot out of you.
It does. People think, "Oh, you're just sitting there talking," and
no food.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about dinner right now.
So we are here today to talk about a player that I wish I could have seen grown playing up. Like, I feel like I've missed him, but someone that a lot of people refer to as the greatest center back in U.S. men's national team history.
Yeah, and it hits close to home here with us being in Richmond, very close to D.C., where he spent most of his career.
Yeah. I feel like now we should just keep describing him to keep people on the edge of what he is.
He also spent some time at the Metro Stars.
He went to UNC. I mean, people should know who this is. They clicked on the title. They clicked on our podcast to subscribe. They should know. If you don't, I'm sorry to inform you. This is not your typical podcast. I don't know how you came across this. But it is Mr. Eddie Pope. Mr. Eddie Pope, that's who we're talking about today. And I gotta say, man, I really hate the fact that I never get a chance to see him play. Like, going back and watch old game footage, yeah, that's fine, that's cool, but it's nothing like...
feeling it firsthand.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, getting to see him play. And this is a point that, we can talk about this first. I feel like he would be someone that would be great to have around the U.S. men's national team. Not so much to teach defense, but to teach them, like, situational awareness. And his situational awareness was amazing.
It was spot on. I think it was uncontested at his time, at DC, at his time with the U.S. men's national team. He was, to the U.S. men's national team, what William Yambi was to the Richmond Kickers.
Yeah, like
he was that solid, safe pair. You know, he was that guy when he was on the pitch playing center back. You knew things were going to be okay.
Yeah,
and I seen him play a few times, especially when he was with DC United. Although I was never really happy because that meant.
I mean, you were a Revs fan. Of course you would never be happy.
You know, New England Revolution, we weren't able to score that much against DC United. I mean, no one was really able to score a lot against DC United around the time when Eddie Pope was there because he was such a commanding presence back there. Mm-hmm. He was a leader. And if you went up for a header, trying to win a header against Eddie Pope, you were losing. And you might come out bruised.
Yeah, true. So, like you said, Eddie Pope, he played for DC United, spent some time at New York Red Bulls, or at that time known as the Metro Stars.
The New Jersey Metro Stars, yeah. It was, yes.
And he finished his career off at Real Salt Lake. So it wasn't like he went out to Europe and played. It was kind of like how a lot of MLS players at this time was coming up. It was you play college soccer, and then you move into MLS, and kind of make a career there for you. And he made a great career for himself, because... when he get into... so he was the second overall pick in the MLS Super College Draft. Let me ask you this. Why do we have a college draft?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I think they're kind of moving away from it now.
They should. Because at the end of the day, just let the club go talk to players and be like, do you want to play for us? Yes or no?
That is a rabbit hole we will not get into on this podcast. We'll save that for others.
Yes.
Full disclosure. We'll let them... have their Pro Rel podcast, whatever that's coming out.
Oh, gosh. Another Pro Rel one?
I mean, look, Florida Coach have been promising this for a minute, and I've been waiting on this Pro Rel conversation, and they have not had it yet.
Oh.
I am waiting.
I've gotten to the point where I'm over that conversation. I'm done with it.
Well, you're also a dad, so you're over a lot of things.
No, it's not just because of that. It's just I've gotten to the point where I'm like, people need to just realize we do things differently here. And so, for better, for worse. No.
Usually for worse. You never get it right. So pretty much back to Mr. Eddie Pope. He was second overall draft pick in the MLS college draft. But his first year, he spent a lot of time between the men's Olympic team that was qualifying to get ready for Atlanta and United. Yes. But at his time with United, he still managed to play 18 games, win a league title, scored a golden goal in the first ever MLS Cup final against LA Galaxy.
Yup.
Like, what?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, you also get your first senior national team call.
Wait. So that was in '96, right?
Yeah.
I believe that game was at Foxborough Stadium, and I went to that game. I think I remember.
It was in Foxborough, which is weird.
I went to that game. I saw that game, that MLS Finals, DC United, LA Galaxy.
So now let's have a stroll down memory lane. Shaneer's brain. A young adolescent Shaneer.
I mean, for me...
I'm sorry.
Man, I was a little kid. I remember it because I remember...
First of all, let me ask you this. When you're a little kid going to games, are you really paying attention to the game? Or you were like... Were you that kid that really was like honed in on the game, or you were like, "Hey, I want to go play in the jungle gym. I want this. I want that."
No, I was honed in every time. I remember almost every time I went to either Foxborough Stadium or when it was renovated Gillette Stadium. It was the atmosphere captivated me. Really? The atmosphere always captivated me, and I was always just honed in because I remember the first game I ever saw was. 94 World Cup, Nigeria against Greece. And I remember I was, 6 or 7? I just turned 7. And I just, to this day, I remember the second goal. I forgot who it was on Nigeria's team. They just smashed a 18, 20-yard just screamer into the top corner. I just remember all of those moments. USA Nigeria 3-2 win for USA, and then I think this was the next game I had ever seen at Foxborough Stadium was DC.
So you mean to tell me
Galaxy?
How old are you talking? Like 8?
In '96, yes, I'm 8, 9 years old. 8.
So you mean to tell me 8, 9-year-old Shaneer is already trying to figure out tactics?
No, not trying to figure out.
I was about to say, like, are you like a baby Bill Belichick?
No, I wasn't not trying to figure out tactics, but definitely in that mindset of just soaking in the moment. You know, the wave. The wave going around the stadium.
Well, I gotta say, sir, you are a lot different than me because at that age, I was like, "Hey, mom, I want to go to the jungle gym. Cotton candy, let's get it." Yeah.
It's like fried dough. Funnel cakes. Funnel cakes.
Oh my god, my mom used to hate me as a kid. She loves me. But so yeah, back to Mr. Eddie Pope. Like he scores pretty much the goal to win the first ever MLS Cup for DC United. But it's also like weird, and I'm about to open up Pandora's box again because what if he doesn't score that? Does DC United become DC United? You know.
Well,
granted, they had all the players. You know, you ever just sit there and think, like, if he doesn't score this golden goal, say if LA Galaxy goes on to score, this LA Galaxy has, you know, what they have 5 MLS Cups. Is it 6? Is it 7? Is it 8? Is it, you know?
I think because at that time, I think this was the first. Was it the first MLS season? I think 90.
Yeah, he was the first ever MLS Cup.
Yep, the first ever MLS Cup.
Which is weird to have your first final to score by a golden goal, but I digress.
Yeah, well, there were some where
this is also the league that said penalties had to be taken from halfway, which was fun.
The shootouts, they were shootouts, which I think is better than penalties, personally, because I mean, we're not going to go down that. It's another round. In my opinion, it's better. It's more exciting, but it's. I think DC United does go on to continue to fight and to continue to garner a lot of to get a lot of big name players. I don't think it changes the the dynamic of DC United's history too much, But DC United does have that,
Yeah.
that accolade of being the first ever MLS champions. So to have that be a part of, and scoring the golden goal in that final to bring the first ever MLS trophy to DC United.
It's kind of cements yourself.
It cements yourself as into MLS folklore.
And the thing was, just isn't like he was already just an established player. It's not until 97 that he really cements himself, because 97 he wins MLS Defender of the Year.
Yes.
He's in the MLS Best 11. And I mean, like, this guy, you can already get the sense of, like, oh, he's on a different level than everyone else. You know? He is that upper echelon kind of guy. And it's weird to see in the early stages of a league and a team where you already see this guy kind of already cemented himself. Mm-hmm. But also being part of that team, they win a second MLS title. 98, they go on to win CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is the time was pretty much CONCACAF Champions League, and the Inter-American Cup, which were like the first time that an MLS team really was. Like that DC United team, from everyone I heard, like Ted, Knight, everyone, like that run of DC United was like, that is what every team at MLS, your Atlanta Uniteds, your Inter Miamis, these teams that are dropping like buku money to become great. Yes. That's what they're aspiring to be.
Yes. Like, I mean, you have that team with Eddie Pope, Marco Echeverri, who was a masterclass in the midfield. I mean, it was the team to beat. DC United was...
Oh, by the way, he also scored a winning goal in the Inter-American Cup.
Yes, he did.
Like, this is a center back.
A center back, exactly. That's what I was about to say. A center back. And then also to just his defensive prowess. And, I mean, this is coming at a time where MLS is new. MLS is the new league. TV deals are coming in. This is a different way of soccer in the United States. It isn't like the NASL and all of the other leagues that tried to come up and failed. Like, this was supposed to be the league that was going to eventually be talked about almost in the same level as some of the leagues in Europe.
Yeah, no, like I remember as a kid growing up, like hearing about MLS, and people were like, "Is this for real? Like, is this thing gonna stick around?" Like, no, it's not. It's just a fad. It's gonna
die out. No. MLS has only gotten bigger.
25 years later, here we are.
Exactly. So,
hey guys, after this podcast, go check out our newest sponsor, Non-League America. They give you the most in-depth exploration of the diversity of the United States through the lens of soccer. They're also your source for behind-the-scenes look at soccer culture and the independent amateur club scene. Non-League America is not media in the traditional sense. They are content creators who use no claims to be unbiased. They're also staunch supporters of independent black-owned clubs, spending money with black-owned businesses and suppliers, and advocating for systematic change to our system that will give these clubs greater equality and opportunity. You can follow Non-League America and check out their documentaries on Facebook and on YouTube, and the link provided down below. So, if you support us, go support Non-League America.
To be a part of that, to be a part of such a big beginning, and to hold that level of performance all the way through your career. I know a lot of people would feel that it's, it's whatever,
but also, and maybe this is just a hot take for me, and, granted, it might be some inherent bias, because I live closer to DC, but that DC team from 96 to 99, I think is in a higher echelon, in my opinion, than those LA Galaxy teams.
Yes.
Like, I'm not afraid to say that DC United stretch from 96 to 99 is the greatest MLS team. And the fact that Eddie Pope is a part of that team, to me, cements his place as one of the greatest defenders of all time in MLS.
Yeah. As a New England Revolution fan, I have to concede that, even though, you had some other big name U.S. men's national team players playing elsewhere. You had Kobe Jones in L.A. You had Mike Byrne and Alexi Lalas at New England. You had, you had some names popping up everywhere. However, that DC United squad was the Manchester City of that time. It was that club with all of the big names, all of the proven players. Yeah. And for Eddie Pope to be coming up in that as a youngster, coming out of college basically into this team and cementing himself as a consistent starter. He played in 18 league games that year. Played in every single one of the playoff games, and of course scored that the golden goal in the last game. He definitely told the world, I'm here and I'm rocking with the best.
Yeah. So Pope really after 99, it kind of gets mirrored by injuries. He's still playing, but his playing time is limited. He gets hampered by injury in 99, 2000, and 2001. By the way, while he's still injured, he still plays an important role in the national team's World Cup qualification. Mm-hmm. And I think he makes it to 3 MLS All-Star games?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's just there not doing anything, and he's still you're still an important part that they recognize. It was like, all right, look, even though you hurt, we're gonna put you in these All-Star games.
Yeah. Yeah. He was still it was still not a question. He's been injured for most of the season. He just got back. Oh, he's back. Okay, put him in the All-Star team. Yeah, he's even though he hasn't really done much this season yet because he's been injured for most of the first half of the season, he is Eddie Pope. You put him in there. Yeah.
It's like the team doctor came to him and was like, "Hey, can you breathe?" Okay, good. All right, you can. That's what it felt like, man. But unfortunately, DC United and Eddie Pope cut ties in 2002. He gets traded to the Metro Stars. By the way, he gets traded to the Metro Stars with Jaime Moreno, Richie Williams for Mike Pecky. If that doesn't sound ultra MLS, I don't know what does. That is the most MLS-like trade ever.
Yeah.
And then also for first-round draft picks and allocation money. That is peak MLS trade. But yeah, he stayed at Metro Stars for 2 years. He's still a high-quality player. It wasn't
was the captain of Metro Stars.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was... Because how many times have you seen a player move to a different club where they at these heights, they're great, and they move to another club, and it's like,
the consistency, his playing time, the amount of games he played throughout his career, just consistent.
And like you said, he was the captain of the team with a great defensive record, and he still made an MLS 11, best 11. He made 2 years in his time in New York. He made MLS best 11 2 years in a row. That's crazy.
Yeah, his career is riddled with. On top of that, U.S. Open Cup. So, the thing is, to win MLS Cup and U.S. Open Cup in the same year, first year of the MLS, first time, first ever, for you to win both of those.
But you know who won in '95? Richmond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, just gonna throw
we don't throw it out there enough.
Exactly.
But yeah, like you said, to have all those accolades, plus in 2007, he gets traded for allocation money. I felt like allocation money is fake made up monopoly money. I've listened to multiple podcasts trying to explain allocation money, TAM, Glam, Bam. And I still don't get it.
I still don't either. I don't. I'm like, can't we just say, pay that club, get that player, pay his wages?
But he moves to Real Salt Lake, plays there for 3 years. And at this point in his career, he is now that elder statesman. And this is a Real Salt Lake team that is new, fresh, hot out the block, expansion franchise. Yeah. And he pretty much, he gives that team that even kill, that veteran presence.
That veteran, that leadership, and especially when you have that in a center back, it's always great when you have that leadership because it's one thing to be a team's leader and it's great, but if that player is a right winger, I don't know. Yes, it's good to have that leadership, to have that command, to have that veteran leadership. But when that veteran leadership is coming from such a key position like center back, it makes for an even bigger a bigger accolade and a bigger presence.
And I mean, like you said, with his career, won 3 MLS Cups, 96, 97, 99. Also Supporter Shield, 2-time Supporter Shield winner, U.S. Open Cup winner, CONCACAF Champions League, Copa Interamerica, 98. Like, star-studded, won a CONCACAF Gold Cup, so there's international success to his name.
Mm-hmm.
MLS Best 11 4 years in a row. MLS Defender of the Year, 97. And, look, people can tweet at me, but I'm going to defend it. When he got inducted in 2011 into the National Soccer Hall of Fame, that is the greatest class ever inducted. Kobe Jones, him,
Ernie Stewart. Yes.
Find me a better class.
Exactly. I mean.
Find me a better class. That's a pretty good class, man.
That is a fantastic class.
That's a pretty good class. I don't think anyone is reaching that.
I mean, it's a fantastic class, and if you look at the names that didn't make it into that top 3 to get inducted, that weren't elected but are qualified for future ballots, you have Marco Echeverri, his former teammate from DC United, Joe Maxmore, legend, Carlos Valderrama, the hair, Chris Armas, Peter Vermes. I mean, these are big names. People that didn't make the cut were Mike Burns. Mike Burns is known. John O'Brien, Jason Christ. Like, these are big names that didn't make it. Raul Diaz Arce. And these 3 are the top. And that's like you said, that is the best class. That is the
only way I could put an argument for is maybe 2007 when you had Julie Foudy and Mia Hamm. That maybe be the only 2. But outside of that, 11 is a tough class.
Okay, Julie Foudy, Mia Hamm, yeah, that is a big.
In 2011 was Bruce Murray, but he was put in as a veteran. So you had Kobe, Ernie, Eddie, Bruce Murray. Find me a better class.
No,
I dare someone to find me a better class.
You dare someone?
I'm pretty sure someone's going to be like this class. But yeah, man. Anything else on Mr. Eddie Pope before we wrap up?
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, if we want to start from the beginning, grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, and like you said, he played for the Tar Heels. So coming out of that, around that time, yes, North Carolina Tar Heels were a big, and still are, a big power in college soccer.
You know Duke fans are listening to this part, just muted you, right?
Yeah. I mean, Duke was up there too. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a rivalry with another team, you would hope that other team is on your level, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I don't want to have a rivalry with someone. It's like Newcastle fans right now talking about, I don't think we have a rivalry with Sunderland anymore. They're in League One.
No, there's still hate.
There's hate, but it's like, this isn't a rivalry. We just don't like you.
That's true. All right, so, yeah, I mean, he went to UNC, but the fact that he went from college soccer to MLS in a league that is fresh.
Yes. Went to MLS right into a league that's fresh and wins the title that year.
Yeah.
Scores the goal that wins it all. And, I mean...
And the thing was, he was originally supposed to go to Kansas City, but Kansas City got a first-round pick and a goalkeeper to get him instead. So that just shows you like how DC United like really rated him.
Yeah.
To go get him. So that's that. I mean, when somebody turns up for you.
And this was also when Kansas City was the Kansas City Wizards.
Yeah. Which I've always said they need to bring back that kid one day.
You can bring back the kid, just don't ever bring back the name, because that was...
So yeah, man, I think Eddie Pope, I think when you can mark his career and really like is, you know, the greatest defender of all time in MLS history.
In MLS history,
I think,
U.S. men's national team history,
yeah.
he's a giant of a center back in terms of his clout, in terms of his reputation, in terms of his presence and what he brought to sports.
I mean, really, like, if you look at his career, you know who he kind of reminds me of? And I always say this on every podcast. This is always a player that reminds me of someone else. He reminds me a lot of, I want to say, like, Patrick Ewing, in a sense, of, like, how defensively great he was. And, like, he was the hallmark of this great
of good defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, if you want great defense, you're looking at Patrick Ewing. If you want great defense in soccer, you're looking at Eddie Pope.
Yep, basically.
You know?
Basically.
So, yeah. So, look, if I'm making an MLS greatest all-time 11, Eddie Pope is definitely...
Eddie Pope
is in my starting center.
Is my first named center back.
Yeah. So
probably put Goose with him.
Probably so.
Probably, yeah.
But anything else out of you, my man, before we wrap up? I always got to ask you, because you always add some weird tidbit.
Yeah, I always have a little something that I remember. Yeah. Eddie Pope, I have great memories of the man. And
I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. It was like you had the point of like, no, I'm not going to say nothing else. Eddie Pope. Like, you're like that dad that sits in the rocking chair with the old story, like, back in my day.
Back in my day.
You're going to tell Penny this. Back in my day, boy, there was a guy named Eddie Pope that defended, son. And he did the thing. He did the thing. Like, what are you talking about, Dad? I'm just trying to go out. Yeah, we thank you guys for joining with us and joining this episode. It's been, 14 strong episodes of Can I Kick It?
Yeah.
I think we finally got a consistent schedule. You know, teachers kind of starting back up for me. You're kind of starting things off new.
Yeah, coaching is starting back up for me. In fact, I came straight here from a game that I had to coach. Yeah.
You know, so episodes are kind of going to be coming out. Maybe we're trying to do 2 a month, minimum 2 a month.
Yeah.
If you get more than 2 from it, that means we've had a lot of time off, and that's not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with all of these games that are getting postponed, we're going to have, let's just do a Can I Kick It episode. Yeah.
As always, you can follow the podcast at River City 93 on Instagram, on Twitter, and also now on YouTube. We put one of our episodes from River City 93 out in there, so check that out. We want to say thank you to our sponsor, Non-League America. You can also check them out on Twitter. Also, last thing, I keep saying also. I need to do better with this. If you want to support the podcast, you can. The link is down below in the podcast bio. I keep forgetting what it's called, but it's called the podcast bio. If you want to support the podcast, you can in the podcast bio down below. The link is there. Close it out. This is Elliot.
This is Shanir.
Keep us on the good side, guys. We'll holler at you later.